that if you don't go to take the test, all the opportunities will not open as a job. The same thing, for example, as a CPA. You might know everything, but if you don't go take the test every 2 years or whatever it is, you might not be allowed to do certain things with it. So pen is one, but business is the other thing. Business is profitability, business is stability, business is the size. Some people could have an emerald pin, but the business might be smaller than a platinum. You know what I mean? Because the pin is something they did it, they had a goal, they finished it. But for example, what is an emerald pin? An emerald pin is you got 3 teams at 21% for 6 months in 1 year, right? I can force this group. Okay, let's buy some agri, let's sell it. I can go to this group. Let's do each spring. And then the moment the goal is done, the moment my pin is done, the moment I get the recognized, when I relax, the business collapses to its natural size. So you have a pin, but you don't have the business. That's what Jim said. You got it. I mean, in our terminology, network terminology, we call it vital signs. Look at the vital signs. How many active people do you have? How many people come to the seminars? How many people bring people to the seminars? Those are all those. So as part of the business, structure of your group. Last one here, it's not business anymore, because business is a part of it. Lifestyle. You want to work until you die, or do you want to balance your life? I remember I was still new Leaders Club. In the first few years. I remember our upline diamond, Bob Barron. I don't think any of you have met Bob Barron except Nora. So this is the old days when he was coming here a lot. He's retired now. But he was telling me a story. I don't know if it was him or somebody from his upline team. And he said this guy had gone diamond and he changed his life completely. He said, and I just remember that when I was in Cebu just a few days ago, just thinking, oh my God, such a beautiful resort. So there's only like 20 people there. Nobody else is there. Just everything's private. You go to the restaurant, there's 5 servants for one person, coming in and taking care of you. You go by the pool, you got an Olympic-sized pool, infinity pool, like 50 meters long. It's big, right in front of the ocean, but there's only one person there, and you go in and I started thinking, this is nice. So what would you like your lifestyle to be 5 years from now? That's when I remember Bob Barron said this diamond, when you went diamond, you didn't have a job anymore. He said, okay, every month, how many of you would like to take vacation? Okay, the question is how often? He said before it was, you work hard, you save up the time, you save up money so you can have one vacation in the summer or whatever, something good. This time he said, okay, work 3 weeks of the month, 1 week holiday. 3 weeks, 1 week, and not 1 week holiday, so sabahai. So this is in America. Every month they fly somewhere, spend 1 week. Can you imagine just in the Philippines land? Can you imagine? Maybe at that point, you get to the point, I started thinking, man, I should do that more often. I enjoy that, not to go into the regular routine type of a thing. 1 week, 1 week every month, just be somewhere. Even if it's not 1 week, it could be 3-4 days. But not just in here, somewhere. It could be Subic, it could be Davao, it could be Mindoro, it could be whatever, Being able to have the option to go somewhere else for a holiday, not necessarily work. It's nice. So you can start budgeting it. You can just say, okay, in today's money, I don't know 5 years from now, in today's money, I'll budget $25,000 a month for my holiday every month for the family. If you have more people, bigger family, maybe you need more. But you need money. So that will come a part of your cash flow. That will come a part of your cash flow. And if that's what you like, then you start looking at when I build my structure of my business, because I'm always thinking, let my business also finance some of my holidays, just like the pictures you guys saw. Why don't I if I like Boracay, why not build business in Aklan and near Boracay? So as I go build a business, I do 3-4 days of seminars and work. Then I can have an extra 2 or 3 days to relax and stuff. So you can actually decide. So you cannot do that with other businesses. Here you can actually build it based on where do you want in the next 2 to 3 years to travel the most. If you like Cebu, start building in Cebu. If you like Boracay, start building the areas that's easy accessible to Boracay. So you start designing your business activities now, so by that time you have many different reasons to be in that. Bohol is nice, sir. Very beautiful area. I've been there a few times. I've got some groups there and enjoy it every time I go there. So it is nice, and it doesn't have to be Bohol. What is nice is what is nice in your heart. Where do you like to go? Because the problems in business in the Philippines has a lot of potential. It doesn't have to be a negative thing that I'm going there. So those are the things you need to start thinking about. So if you think the diamond can do that for you, well, this is what you have to do next. You have to start working it backwards. So the program will be in 2029. However, you need to be a diamond by 2028. Right? The trip is in 2029. The celebration is 2029. But the qualification to go there will be finished in 2028. Did you follow that? So that's one less year that you have. That's one less year that you have. Now, if you want 2028 to be as a diamond, you probably have to have the right structure already by 2027, right? For example, if you have only one leg here, oh my God. I mean, 5 more legs you have to do in 1 year. That hasn't been done? Yes, but why procrastinate here so you have to rush it there? You know what I mean? And the same thing with, you're working in the bank, right? Investing, right? Much better to invest a small amount every month since you're 20 years old. Rather than suddenly you become 50-year-old, oh my God, kulang sa retirement, ang bilis na ako, trying to invest money, right? Because if you get the investment to work for you at the young age, over the years of compounding effects, you'll be okay. The problem is most people don't start early, right? They don't start early, and then they have to hurry up at the end, and that's when they make mistakes with it. So, what are the things we need to do? So my explanation is just logical a little bit. So let's talk about money. So if you want the money of the diamond, you have to know actually where the money comes from. You have to understand. Most of you believe in what you see as far as a marketing plan, but you need to actually look at the numbers. So let's talk about money. If you're at 21%, the whole goal is to be 21%, right? Because that is one of the categories how you maximize your profit at that level. And you become 21% by having multiple legs, right? Multiple teams. And your teams will be from 3%, 6%, 9%, 12%. So if you have a team of 9 to 12%, for every team, you're at 21. You're at 21%, but you have teams from 9% to 12%, you'll be making between 7,000 to 15,000 pesos a month from each one of those teams. How much? Well, it depends on, is it exactly at 1,200 PV, or are they at 1,500, or are they at 1,800? But somewhere around those from every team. And nobody tells you that you can have only one team, right? You can have 5 teams, you can have 3 teams, you can have 10 teams. So the amount of money that a person can make is in our control. Now, if the leg gets bigger, 15 to 18%, the amount changes from 15,000 to 25,000. So the bigger the team, the more money you make. Tama ba? 21%. When the team becomes 21%, you'll be making between 30,000 to 60,000 pesos for each team. for each leg. Can you make more? Yeah, but those are just the numbers. The least is 30,000. The most average is somewhere between 30 to 60,000. That's a leg with Ruby volume, 20,000 BB. Okay? And anything below that, 3 and 6%, those numbers are smaller. Somewhere around 2 to 5,000 pesos. Okay? So your cash flow on a monthly basis will come from these, not including the end of the year bonuses, not including the Emerald bonus, the Diamond bonus, the Diamond Plus bonus, or some of the other ones. Okay, so these are just the monthly things. So what do we want to do here? Not only we want this, but we have to build a program based on these because we want to make sure this is taken care of. Come on? Raise your hand, it's okay, I'm not going to ask cross-lining, but how many of you wish you had more legs in the business? How many of you have experienced the leg that you have is very nice, it's comfortable to work with? Comfort zone, right? It is true. It is true. It's a lot easier to work with an existing leg. And sometimes the reason we don't have more legs because we're comfortable with this leg. I've been there too. We all have been there. Okay. So at some point we have to get uncomfortable to set up so we have 5 or 6 choices. That way we can stay busy with those legs. It's okay. It's okay to just stay busy with what we have, but at some point they have to be built first. So the whole idea of what I'm going to show you is it's going to spend the first part of this period building those legs. They don't have to be big legs, they just have to be a leg. Because a mango tree takes 6 years. A tomato plant takes, 6 weeks, 5 weeks. Each one have fruit at a different timing, right? Mm-hmm. You cannot force the mango to produce in 6 weeks, right? And you cannot wait for a tomato tree for 6 years because you'll be rotten by that time. So you want to have choices. The same thing in a traditional business, right? So Sam, you are a traditional businessman, right? You in all these buildings and hotels, you provide them the elevators and stuff like that, right? Some of those proposals you make might not produce a contract to you right away. Some of them might happen 6 months from now or 1 year later down the road. So you continuously have to plan with it. So what I put down is as a goal, because remember, in order to these happen, we have to have a fixed goal in each one of these, right? Manage the short-term goal with urgency. Because if we slip here, everything else is going to be slipped. Remember? Okay. Yeah. So one of the ones that I put down here is it will be a good goal. It will be a good goal based on what I'm like Nancy Dornan. What happened to my? Oh, there we go. She makes all the notes and then she never uses them because she's so sanguine. Okay. One of the first goals I had is if you want to go in that direction, why not focus on 2022, this coming year? Yes, we want to be a diamond. Yes, we want to have a monster business. We want to have whatever, a million pesos a month or whatever. But let's go back. Number one, let's build a solid 21% business. Let's build a solid 21% business because the foundation, just like preparing the land as a farmer, the proper foundation will set up everything else the right way. Okay? So a good goal will be, if you have not reached 21%, let's get there. If you have been there, let's work on the stability of it because one time doesn't mean stable. Just like brushing your teeth or flossing your teeth, one time doesn't save it, right? You gotta do it on a daily basis. Set up the foundation. So maybe another goal on top of it could be finishing up platinum. So if you've never been 21%, that could be a good goal. Is it doable? Well, as I said, I never thought that my salary would be doubled when I wrote that thing down. But I acted on it. I worked very hard in my job. I didn't just write it. I really did what I had to do in my job to be shown. So when the company bought that, they saw me as a big asset. They don't want me to leave the company, so that's why they gave me a contract. They almost doubled my salary just to continue, not to resign, not to go to another competition, to work somewhere else, doing that. So become 21%, work with your upline, let's work together to create the activities to make it happen. and get to, set up your platinum ship. How are we gonna do that? Well, I think 2 weeks ago when I talked to you guys, we touched on that. This is you. Okay. How many of you want to do either one of those? How many do you think it will be worthwhile to become 21% or a platinum this year? Anybody? Okay. Don't think about platinum to scare you. You might start thinking, oh my God, 10,000 PV every month. Go with the heart, not with the mind. All of us, when we decided to build a business, it started with the heart because our mind says you cannot do it. When I decided to go silver producer, if you've never been silver, that thing looks like a monster. Oh my God, 10,000 PV, how am I gonna do that? Especially if you're not new, because if you're a very new person, you might think, I can do it. Because you don't have the experience, how many rejections you have to go through, or how many. See, the more feedback you have, the more problem you have. See, that's why experience is very good, but it's very bad. Experience is very good because you know what to do. Experience is very bad because now your mind controls the heart. I went Leaders Club, if you have heard my story. I went Leaders Club on my 3rd month. Very happy. Money, Leaders Club. It's not a financial wisdom, right? My salary, my job was $10,000. My Leaders Club check was about $200. Big difference, 50 times more. So it was not a financial decision to become Leaders Club, but I felt like a champion. But then I stuck at the Leaders Club for 15 months. 15 months at Leaders Club, every month trying. So I started having that doubt. I don't think I can ever get to 21% because I'm working like crazy, just staying at the same place. 1 month, 9, 12, 9, 12, 6, going through. So my experience was taking over. Some of you are in that mode right now. Some of you, you're thinking of, even if you have done 21% once, even 9%, you do it once, sometimes you cannot do it right away, another time. Why? Because your experience says, you already tried it, you worked so hard here, then you went here, and then this group started, and then you go back in here, that group started, normal. That's normal. But that's when your experience doesn't become an asset, your experience become an anchor, like a ship. When I was in Cebu, I saw that it was a typhoon. There was a ship right in the middle of the Cebu Bay, anchored there. You can see it's huge. But it's swirling around because the wind is carrying it here and there, except that anchor, I think it's in the front, that was holding it solid, but the ship was just like going all over because it was quite windy. The typhoon was there, So some of you, your experience become an anchor, doesn't let you to think, I should do this, I try this, because you always go back, well, I tried that already, it didn't work. But that's why a decision has to be an emotional decision. I went to the weekend seminar. It was October, late October. Speaker was Louis Carrello. Never met him before, never knew who he is. That was the first time. And he gave that famous talk, The Man Will Not Be Denied. I was there. I was a frustrated Leaders Club. And I remember I had to get up and clap for new recognition for Bill. Bill was a BMW salesman. He was from our team, but from my uplines team. He was he's a very funny guy, Bill Bennett. If you know Marietta knows Bill. He always says he was trying to date her, She was single too, But he was recognized as a new platinum with a downline gold producer, another downline silver, and I had to clap for him. And here I am, director of engineering, very intellectual. And he's just a salesman, nothing wrong with the salesman, don't get me wrong. But my thinking was, if he can do it, not that I can do it, I'm gonna do it. I have to prove I'm better than him. So we made a decision that we're gonna go silver by December. This was end of October, there was not many days left. So basically we had November and December. See, I didn't even think for 13 months, 14 months, I'm 9%, 9, 12, 6, 9, 12, 6, I started thinking, I have to do it. Ramon, when you went silver, the very first one, it was a decision, I have to do it, right? It was not that it was the middle of the COVID that you talked about that 2 weeks ago, right? It was not that it was no COVID. It was not that everything was so fine. You just said, I'm going to do it.
Yes.
Whatever it takes, right?
Yeah, that time even I was driving, I wanted to do STP to all the people. Like
Anybody, right? COVID or no COVID, right?
Yes, anybody I see.
Yeah. And what did you see? Everybody I see an e-spring. You're going to buy an e-spring, right? Why? See, that is the mindset of an entrepreneur. That's what's going to get you into here. But if you're here, that's exactly what's going to get you here. Not to thinking logical, thinking, why do you want to do that? I remember with Doctora and her husband, we were going into the mountains and, up to Baguio and all of those. I know with Dwayne driving. I know they wanted to become platinum. You could sense it. I remember we were in the Lepanto mine, right? Damn Kawe. I remember Pete was talking. Dr. was going around getting orders. Somebody needs to finish the goal, right? Pete was very good in talking, very good at the back, correct? Very analytical, pero you need somebody to close the deals then. She was going to the people getting orders, and at the end she has like 100,000 peso order. Well, I mean, that's what's going to get the job done, not your intellectual. It's not here, it's here. And that's what you have to find, a reason why you want to be 21% this year. And not delaying it too long, because it takes only 2 or 3 months from zero. Because that zero is a decision time, it's not the business level. Some people can be at 9%, but they're more ready than somebody who's sitting at 18% not ready. You know what I mean? It's a decision time from readiness, not from the PV level. Okay? So if you start doing those, a good goal will be that. So how are we going to do that? How are we going to make this stable? Is you'll do double face center. Don't think about 10,000 PV. Don't think about 10,000 PV. Do you think if you can sponsor 4 people, if you can do 1 to 200 PV personnel, and you're on CEP, you're listening, think that is platinum. All I have to do is that. Do you think you can do that?
Yeah.
Do you think you can do that? Just 4 na lang. Only 4. 100 PV lang. Not until death do us apart. Just this month lang. Just thinking, no, see, you have to play those tricks. Because when I decided to become silver, I didn't think about Amway is going to be my future. I said, I just don't want to be a loser compared to Bill Bennett. That guy's only a high school graduate. He's, of course, to be a salesman, you need to be madalad. Very sanguine. Pero choleric sanguine. He was very good. And I was so envious that I said, I have to beat him. Not physically, but I have to just do it just to tell me I am better than him. I didn't think about I have to do it every month. I just wanted to get to silver to say, I quit. But hey, I quit after I'm silver. Do you follow? So you got to reward yourself with a smaller goal that's going to lead to that, not to think about the viaje. Depending on when you, as a seaman, both of you, seaman, right? How many years?
32 years.
30 years. When you leave the port, hopefully it's sunny and calm, right? You know at some point you're gonna run to rough sea. You just hope it's not tomorrow. You know you're not gonna go 9 months without any rough sea, right? You know at some point it's gonna come. You're just hoping that it won't be as bad. The same thing here. Don't worry about how do I get there. Just think about, I'm gonna sign up in December don't even wait till January. December, man. I don't care if I have to kick him, come on, sign up. Or I have to explain to them, whatever. Just get 4 sign-ups. Why? That's what Mitch Sala says. If you have lost the touch to sponsor, even if you pay for them, just sponsor. You know what I mean? Just because you gotta get started. You gotta bring that belief that I am good. Because if you don't think good about yourself, you can never accomplish it. See, the reason I became silver, because I knew I was good intellectually. I knew the only reason I'm not 21% has nothing to do with Amway or Bill Bennett. it was about me because I'd never really pushed myself. I work hard like an employee, but not like an entrepreneur. Employees work hard because at the end of the day they have salary. All I have to do is 5 o'clock, go home, get my job done. But entrepreneurs, you don't perform, you don't eat. Just like insurance agents, just like real estate agents, walang result, walang close, walang commission, walang kain. Diba? So as an entrepreneur, suddenly I started thinking, I gotta get this thing done. That's why if you've heard my story, I did vacuum cleaner, I mean anything in Amway. With Filipinos, a lot of cookware, because I know they like cooking, and Amway had a nice cookware set, so they told them, hey, you have a credit card, you buy this for life, lifetime warranty. Anything happens for lifetime, not 1 year warranty, lifetime. Amway stood behind their cookware set, So we had a few Filipinos, they bought a cookware set, vacuum cleaner, they finished it. We finished it, and my intention was not to do it again. I finished it and said, done, at least I'm done. But that gave us the courage to continue building it more. So, double pay setter, 4 sign-ups. Finish it, don't think about January. But you finish December, okay, 1 done, 11 more to go. Then January. 2 done, count down, learn to measure. Just like checking your balance in your checkbook, right? You always check. If you don't just assume it's there, right? You monitor it. So you count down. 1 month down, 11 to go. 2 months down, 10 to go. Just work 12 to 18 months. Here and here. Here and here. 4 every month. 4 every month. Okay? If you do that, most likely, in 1 year time, just 1 year land event, you'll have more than 50 front lines. Correct? Most of them, they're not going to buy toothpaste because you just force them to sign, even though it's not a big amount. However, that's just the starting point. We don't want to do that overnight. I know some people just sign. You gotta think about building a leg. I gotta build some relationship. I gotta do whatever I have. By the time you're done, out of these 50, most likely you will have 20 bonus producing legs. That means 3% and up. That means 3% and up. Most likely, you will have 3 legs that will be big PV. You will have a leader that you can do meetings and continue growing it. Just like that picture that Joanne showed, that was a 15% leg, right? After how many months? For the first time when they hit 15? 6 to 7 months. It doesn't take 6 to 7 years. And bliss. The moment you have the right person, it does not go slow, it explodes. It just might take 2 to 3 months to cultivate the first one, to get that first seed going. Okay? Doctora, you had another leg. Your niece, your nephew, or Celso, diba? You're a gold producer. Right? We did a couple of meetings. Then within 3 months, he was on his own. He was running around the Pangasinan here. Before he had some challenges, he built it very quickly, right? Because the moment you get that right person, equipped, supported, the moment they grow up, they take ownership. They start running. They run even faster than you. And they started growing. So along the way, in the whole year you've gone through, you've got a lot of disappointment. This person joined, didn't do anything, this guy got a little bit. But you'll find 3 who will just take off. Most of us were stuck with 1. And we're still waiting, but we just don't do this to open up the options. Opening up the options. So you've got probably 3 at that level, most likely. You probably will have So you will have 3 legs at 15% and higher. You will have probably about 6 legs at 9 and 12%. Not bad. Remember the money, right? Remember the money. And you'll probably have about 10 plus legs at 3 and 6%. These are just legs volume. In these you have one leader, at least one leader in each leg. You actually have a leader building. In here you have multiple leaders building. You have 5 or 6 people building. Okay? When you add it up, your GPV is over 20,000. It's a platinum with a ruby volume, not platinum. And this is what's needed. This is what's needed for these. The most common mistake people make, many people make it, is they want to do it one at a time, without having the options. Okay, so start doing those. So that will be a good goal. 20 bonus producing leg. 20 legs that are more than 3%. How much money will you make? Well, here probably you're making 100,000 a month. With that. Maybe more. Because if any months that you're at 20,000, there'll be another 20 to 30,000 added to that as a little bonus. Okay? So what would this do if you decided to do this? If you decided to do this on a monthly basis, and you persistently for 1 year to do, a year from now, December, you'll be looking at that every month. Would that be worth the inconvenience?
Yeah.
Would that be worth? Now, you might say I sponsored some people in the past 2 years. Yes, virtual is okay, but virtual doesn't work. It's easy to get 1,000 pesos out of people, but it doesn't mean they're gonna do anything. The reason they're gonna do something is when they come and meet us in a physical thing. The reason Celso decided to go and build, his wife passed away, Ghannadan?
Yeah. Recently.
The reason he decided, because these guys, she and her husband, were Macaulay, not in a bad way, in a good way, because they were a believer. They were telling him to come every month to the Baguio BBS. And not only him coming, you guys were going to his area, you're talking to his you guys were the leader, leading people to come to the seminar, right? You were not just saying, Celso, go sell the tickets. You were working with him to bring the people. Right, Dwayne? You were there too.
Yeah.
And it was the seminar that affected him to say, I want to be like that. Then he started going to become Leaders Club, and next month 15%. And then within 90 days, he was a silver producer. Within 90 days. Why? So that's what we have to do. Don't expect to sign up 50 and they're gonna rise. They're not gonna rise, they're gonna die. But what you have to do is get those guys to come to this meeting every 2 weeks. The whole idea of the theme, what we do here, because Dr. 21 doesn't have it. What they have is right now virtual. Again, virtual is good for information, not for inspiration. Inspiration is when, right now, if this was virtual, all of you can see me. But in physical, you can see everybody else. You can see everybody else. The relationships, the dynamics, one person's success is not just on a movie, it's impact everybody. That's why we are the first team in the Philippines. We are the first diamond team in the Philippines who has physical meetings. Everybody else still afraid. Well, we're not stupid. We still have masks. We're all vaccinated. I even brought my shield just in case if somebody gets too close, I can shield myself away from them. But hey, we have risk when we went to Lepanto, right? Road is like this. And when we get there, there is a lot of nice people around too, I've been with Nora up there, diba? Sa Tugigaraw when you go to Gataran. Oh my God, when you go to Gataran, it's a street. We're going with the bus, I see somebody across the street, they have a gun on their back, they're just walking in the street. It's just we've been there. Were we stupid? No, we had courage, but we're not stupid. We took all the right precautions to do that. And the future for Amway is in the people who do the things now that others are not doing. I remember the first time when I went to Tugigaraw, the very first time. It was not with Nora's group, it was my other group, AN. Everybody else crossed line when they heard that. They said, Ali, we've been there before. People there, they don't have it. Sorry, don't get offended. But that's what people said. Amway has been there so many times, everything collapsed. Don't go. Don't waste your time. Go to somewhere else. But you know, we had one serious person there, locally there from Land Bank, was willing to hold meetings. We just kept going, right? We just kept going every week, every week. And it didn't blossom the first week. It took 4 months. But every week we were there. Initially me, with the upline of that person. Then Nora came along. Then some of the other, your action brings other people. Initially when I went to Baguio to build the Nixon group, but then later on we had Dr. and Dwayne. Later on we had other people going in. You know, we work as a team to build an area. If you're gonna build in Bohol, you cannot do that alone. You can, but it's kind of stupid. But you need to get other people involved who might have the contacts there to go with you to build as a team. You develop an area with a team, not just with yourself. And it's okay at the beginning, nobody goes. When Johan started going to Iloilo or Estancia, for the first few trips just alone. But down the road, not only I went, Nora was there once or twice even before. A couple of other people went there. Suddenly, start other people. See, you set an example and people follow. At the beginning, you think, Bobo ako, kasi nobody's coming here. I'm the only one. Always happens. At the beginning, you're the only one. Today, how many we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Hey, we have one more than 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, we were 12. We grew. 1 or 2 people didn't come, but others come. That's okay. That's how it starts. That's how it starts. Everything starts the same way. At the beginning, when you invest money, right? I remember years back, after I went diamond, I started, when you have extra money, you invest, right? You cannot invest if you have zero balance at the end of the month. You only invest when you have extra. But I remember at the beginning, you invest the money, the following months, it's just like a small improvement. And then 2 months later, still small. After some time, the exposure is not that much. But after, 15 years, compounded growth, oh wow, it's pretty good, right? If you have done it on a religiously thing. The same thing. So you sponsor people, especially if they're from Manila. But make sure you bring them here 2 weeks from now. Except 2 weeks from, by the way, this is our last one for 2021. Because the 2 weeks from now is Christmas. So the next one will be January 8th. So in the month of January. So work hard. Sponsor people, but bring them here. Because here, they don't meet Team Warrior in virtual, they meet Team Warrior in person. The stories, the teachings, the bonding, with that. So if you start doing that, you'll get that. Now, so what will be the good goal for 2023? Well, just continue from here. If you have 20 bonus producing, if you're platinum, here you'll be a Ruby Platinum, a founder Ruby Platinum. Maybe by that time one of the legs already break. Maybe 2 of them, it doesn't matter. But at least you have a profitable business. Trust me, and again I learned from Jim Dornan, much better to be a very, very profitable platinum than a non-profitable emerald. Because the emerald has the pin. And everybody's expecting, sabi niya sa business preview, 4 million para sa emerald. But some platinums make more money than some emeralds. Why? Because they have a better structure. Remember, emerald pin is only 3 legs. You know that 4 million you see in the business preview? That's not an emerald. That's not an emerald pin. They've got a huge business. Have multiple legs. They have big legs, big volume, big depth bonuses and stuff. Average emerald business maybe is about 2 million a year. That year happened to be for some reason very good. End of the year stuff, that's why the amount is big. Okay? So it would be nice to have that. And then I'm going to show you here. So all you do at the beginning, this year, is to build this, and activation. What's activation? Bring him to this meeting. Bring him to this kind of meeting. And actually in about 20 minutes from now, the same meeting happening in Cagandura for our team. The same thing, we have an activation meeting just like this in Cagayan. Amazingly, just like when I saw Ben said she came all the way from Ekawaya. Most of the attendees today in Cagayan are not from Cagayan, they're coming all the way from Iligan. The Cagayan guy says, we don't want to go. Iligan people, they have to get in the bus, all the way go there, and they're going to bring them in guests. Even though the Cagayan guys are. So again, sometimes your best legs are going to come out of Lepanto, not out of Quezon City. They're going to come out of Iloilo, not in somewhere else, you know. So the moment you find those, that's where you go. That's where you start building. Now, so as you start doing this, I started activation. Remember, activate. Activate is with people. Coffee together, bonding, seeing the recognition. The only other skill you need to know, is building a leg and depth. Building a leg and building a depth. So this is you sponsor A. You sponsor A. Nothing's gonna happen to A. Why do you want A activate? You're gonna bring A in January 8th here. What's your goal? The person to start thinking, oh, this is nice, I wanna do this. Why? Because we wanna help A, to sponsor 3, 4, 5 people. Hopefully from those, we'll find the best one. We call it B. So not just one, from his list. And the only reason we want to activate it, because if he doesn't bond with us, he's not going to open up his list to invite people. The trust has to be developed. So let's say you find B. So the B has to come not by waiting for A, but it has to be driven. It has to be driven to go, Driven, not physically drive. Driven is you have a goal. You're telling yourself, I have 2 weeks. Example, I have 2 weeks to find B. That means I have 2 weeks to sponsor 3 to 4 people so I can find one who listens to me, who is not financially broke. It's okay to be broke, but your work will come a lot more harder because they won't even afford a toothpaste. They say, oh, I like to do this, pero walang pera. You don't want their pero, you want their pera, right? Sorry to say that, but that's life, diba? Yeah. It's costing you to help them, pero you're hoping that they can at least afford to buy 3,000-4,000 every month worth of products, right? And remember, birds of the same feather flock together. If they're broke, their friends are broke too. That's when the legs don't grow. So that's why you work with A, you review his list, you sponsor 4 or 5 people so you can find one who fits into the category. And you give yourself a deadline. I'll do this in 2 weeks. Even if I have to focus on that for 2 weeks, I'm gonna coffee today with this one, I'm gonna coffee tomorrow with this one until I find somebody who says, Sige, I'm gonna come to January 8th. And once that thing comes in, you get excited, then you help this person to sponsor 3 to 4 people. Okay? And again, you give yourself another 2 weeks to find C. So if it's not driven with a goal, you're standing there, it's just like an anchor of a ship that doesn't go all the way down to the bottom of the ship, to the bottom of the ocean to hold it. Okay? So our goal is to build depth. Build depth. And develop relationship between these guys, just like the relationship Joanna and Dwayne and I were talking about. It's a team relationship. It's not a structure. They work together. They help each other out to help C to sponsor 2, 3, 4, 5 people to find D. To find E. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Your goal is to go 5 deep right away. We learned this from Michela. We learned this from Network 21. They call it depth charger. Talaga focus. I gotta get there. 5 deep. Okay? If A now, is at 9% LC, this leg will always stay at 9% LC because there's 5 levels of depth. Now, not all 5 are active at different levels. The best you're gonna get out of these 5, there is one who's gonna be a star. If you go 5 this way, you find one. If you also go 5 this way, you find one also. Do you follow? Now, if you're at 9%, but you're not 5 deep, that 9% will not last. If you're 5 deep, that leg will be a stable leg. It will be one of those 9%ers that's gonna stay there. Then what is your next goal? So you do this, it's 5, you have an LC business. Your next goal is to find who is the one who's the star. It could be A, it might not be A, it might be C, it might be E. But out of these 5, you're gonna find one. Let's say it's B. What you're gonna do with B, you build additional relationship. Not just you bring your upline to build relationship with these guys, just like what Aya did with Joanne. What Dr. and Dwayne did with Aya. They bring him to me. Not because it's just that you cannot promote yourself. You want to make sure that person feels as a part of a leadership team, not just as a part of a team. Do you follow? That personal situation, and we can start mentoring this because in the long run, we want a platinum out of that guy. We want to make sure he is capable of building his team 2 and 3, not just sit there. And then the next goal is the same. You go 5 more deep. You get 5 more deep. By that time, your business is 15% or more. You'll see. And again, what do? You find another star out of that. So your goal is, year 1, you're building these. From year 2, even starting now. But from here on, you already have the base, so you're looking at to see which one are those that I need to go deep. And your goal is to build this thing to 20 deep. If you build it 20 deep, you will have 5 key leaders. The definition of that is they will become the platinums. Platinum 1, Platinum 2, Platinum 3, Platinum 4, Platinum 5. And there's a whole bunch of people in between. That's your passive income. That's a leg that lasts forever. 50, 60, 70,000 PV. And that is your goal in the next 3 to 4 years. Maybe 2 legs per month per year. You start doing that. By 2026, 27, you're already a diamond. Maybe more. Okay, so all you should do right now, I gotta get this. And along the way, not starting in 2024, the moment as the leg develops. For example, Joanne, you got a good leg, for example, right? It's nice to work with this guy. We need to find what is the deepest, who's the one who listened to me, so I put focus on developing that 5 deep from there. But at the same time, we need to go to the other legs. Start doing that. One plan for life. You do that, then this next 5 years, we'll set everything up. And that's exactly what we did 10, 15 years ago with the leg of Edward Kimball, even though it was in Iligan. Leg of Glory, even though it was Cagayan. Leg of Nayan, it was Tumigarao. Then down the road came Dr. Annie Labarsabal. Then after that, Nora, some other legs. That's all we did. We didn't secure the volume from here. We built the leg produced the volume. The leg produced the volume. It's easy to get tempted just purely volume, even if it's necessary. But it's important to have volume, just make sure this guy goes LC. But if you want this to be 21%, you're just not looking for one guy to do all of it. The structure and the direction of the structure is very much more important than just the volume. Volume goes to 0 at the end of the month. But the structure with the right vitals, with the right leadership, that's permanent. So anyway, I'll pray for you. I hope that you have a nice holidays, safe holidays. but spend a day or two. I know life is busy, life has a lot of situations, but spend some private time designing your life for the next couple of years. What do we have to do? Nancy Doran says, not what only you have to do or what you want, what are you willing to do, what are you willing to give up in order to get something? I have people who says, I want this business. I'm supposed to have 2 brand new silvers here today for recognition. Pero, I'm sure one of them is sanguine for God, typical of that one. But the other one is, they're just waiting, they said they have other events are happening too. You cannot do everything at the same time. At some point you have to kind of simplify a little bit in order for you to have the better results, with that. So take a look at those, but I'm blessed that I have all of you in our team. You guys are what makes warriors. I know, Ben, I know you came long ways. I heard your taxi ride was quite long and probably expensive, right? All the way from those, but that's what warrior is. Those guys, those people in Iligan, that's what the warrior is. They're doing the right thing even though uncomfortable, but you're gonna have your own warrior team. You're gonna have your own dedicated people that someday you'll be ashamed, saying, "Oh my God, I feel bad for that person." Like the fact that they have to come so far, to do that. And so my suggestion is dream well, set up a time, private time, have a wonderful holidays, enjoy it with the family. The only reason we do everything is for the family, so you can enjoy and be blessed. And we will continue our business reviews virtually, so we'll see you guys again virtually like a movie star. Amazing. I remember Narieta was telling me her people, the Manyander, at the beginning, a year ago when we had virtual previews, they'd never seen that before. They used to tell everybody, "They're a movie star, come and see this, come and see Marietta, she's a movie star, she's on TV," when she was making an impact statement, just like, but it's amazing. And also let's learn how to smile and how to sometimes, you just need to smile back at life because the problems are so much, we don't need to stress, let God handle those. But we just have to kind of smile and just say, okay, I'll just looking forward to tomorrow. But anyway, thank you so much, guys. You guys are wonderful. Thank you.